Hi friends, Simon here from Informed Trades. Today is Friday, November 6, 2015. On the screen right now, a daily chart of the FXCM US dollar index. We've been talking a lot about this contract over the past few weeks, and now it finally occurred, a big breakout. You can see that here, this last candle here, big breakout. Let's zoom in a little bit. What happened here? There we go. Let's zoom in. Big breakout. And that was our move. We had the converging trend lines, and so the question was, how is this going to end up? We knew a breakout was coming. We talked about how, whenever you see this convergence, that sign of a breakout is coming. Weren't sure which direction. Now we know it's to the upside, which suggests that the dollar is ready or gearing up for its next big move up. Now, often after a big move like this, there is a pullback, and maybe there'll be a pullback to 121 or so, which could be an interesting opportunity to buy. Same thing on the futures dollar index. We have closed above this resistance level here. It's not as convincing of a close, but you can definitely see that happening. Euro US dollar, and this sort of goes in line with what we had been discussing. I thought the dollar I was more on the side of a bearish breakout in the dollar, but that hasn't occurred. Obviously, we broke out to the upside of the dollar, which means a downside move to the Euro US dollar. And we're at 107.48 now. We may get a retest of 108.48, 108, and that could be an interesting opportunity to short with the target of 104.99, so 105 basically, which is the next support level. So for those who are interested in playing the next leg of dollar strength, this could be a good way of doing it. Wait for the pullback in Euro US dollar to test 108 or maybe even a little bit higher, and then target 105. U.S. Treasuries. Now, this is something I found really interesting. Even though U.S. dollar, even though we've seen that rally, we are still seeing long-dated Treasuries decline. In fact, long-dated Treasuries have broken out of the converging trend lines. This asset also had a pattern of lower highs and a pattern of higher lows, and we are now below that second trend line, below that lower trend line here. So that suggests a bearish move. We're below the 50 simple moving average, below the 200 exponential average. There's a pattern of lower highs in place, and the pattern of higher lows that was in place is now broken. So does this set the stage for a move to 119, possibly even 115? I think it could, although we are seeing strength in the dollar, and normally we would expect that strength in the dollar would lend itself to a strong Treasury market also. So it's hard for me to be really confident in this trade, but on a purely technical basis, I do think it looks a bit bearish, whereas the dollar, I think, looks a little stronger technically. Dollar-yuan exchange rate, we are now at, I just want to highlight that we are at this resistance level, which is at the 50 simple moving average, so maybe we'll break back down, but I think the dollar is showing some signs of strength now, so this might be an interesting, very short-term trade, or more likely, if it bounces back off the 50 simple moving average, you can sort of buy on the dip. Now, dollar yen, this is a good, I like to see this chart because I'm long dollar yen, and I just added to my position. If you check back on the videos that we made a couple last week, I added to my position on this test here right after this hammer pattern off support here where we touched this trend line. I also had a position around here. I think I added it actually much earlier in the year, right around here. So that's good. This position is now in the money. I do think we may get a test back. We may fall another 150 pips back to 121. As is often the case on a big move up, you come back and you test that support level, or that former resistance level, now support. But the next target here really is around 125. So I think that could be a really interesting trade opportunity. Like I mentioned, I'm looking to target this over the long term. If we look at a monthly chart, I'm looking to go back to here, for price to go back to what we saw in 99 at least, if not higher. So I'm not that concerned about reaching 125, but for traders who have a shorter term outlook, I think that could be a pretty good profit target. Yeah, getting back to here, the 125 level, especially if market comes back down and tests 121 before going to 125. Hang Seng Index. Okay, so this is we are at this resistance level here. It could decline, but I just mentioned I think anytime a major index is at a resistance level, it's at least worth noting in passing. I'm not trading this. It does seem a little bearish because we have a clear downtrend. Now we've rallied a bit. So for those who want to short it, I think this could be a somewhat interesting setup, although I would pass on it. I would want to see more signs. The FTSE is, I think the FTSE is a better short candidate than the Hang Seng Index, but it's also sort of the same idea. We have a downward trajectory, and then the market rallied a bit. Now it rallied to support its resistance. This could be an interesting short opportunity. We've completed a 61.8 retracement. We're actually a little more than that, or did a little more than that. We are above the 50 simple moving average, and the 50 simple moving average is sloped upwards. So, I think there are some bear signs, but there's still the fact that we're above the 50 SMA and it is sloping upwards. So, again, I passed on this, but I did think it was interesting that after a decline, we rallied to resistance. So anytime that occurs, I think it's at least worth observing. Bitcoin, okay, went parabolic. It is now pulling back. I got in right around here, so where it blew off was sort of, I could have closed at break even, I didn't. I'm holding this for, I have a very small position, so I'll accept if it goes to zero. In case it gets widespread adoption, I'm really looking for a big gain, $4,000, $5,000 price. For those who want to enter, 309 might be an interesting entry point. It is a former resistance level, and if we can pull back there, I think that could be an interesting level. Of course, technicals aren't going to work as well as Bitcoin. It basically moves like a penny stock, so I still think it's useful in terms of it helps you measure moves and things like that, but the margin of error, the variance here, is going to be a lot larger. And that's about it. Any questions you have, anything you want to add, join us at informedtrades.com. If you enjoyed this video, please like it on YouTube, share it on Facebook, Google+. That helps us grow, helps us make more videos. Best of luck in your trading and investing. We'll see you next time. Take care.